Tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 6, the Medford School District Board is discussing a plan for a cell phone policy. Details on that plan coming up. And over $1.7 million is coming to Ashland Parks. We'll tell you details about the projects coming up next. And we'll check in with a change in downtown Medford that went into effect today, how to avoid that speeding ticket. All those stories and much more news coming up next on NewsWatch 12 at 6.
Watching out for you. This is NewsWatch 12 at 6.
We begin with breaking news this evening. The Medford School Board is meeting right now, and a lot of parents expected to speak to the board with discussion on a cell phone policy for the school district. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Haley Gravid. A drafted plan is being presented to board members and attending parents. The plan would require phones to be turned off during class and restrict any time that it would cause a disruption of any school activities unless it's allowed by the instructor. And if you've been following our school coverage, we told you last week about Phoenix High School's no phone policy and how Phoenix hoped other schools might join in. Tonight we'll learn if the Medford School District could implement the cell phone ban. Let's take a live look at this meeting going on right now.
On another note, I am one of 3 co-founders of the Jackson County Threat Assessment Committee. We started our committee after the Parkland shooting, although we'd been planning to for months before that. We founded in 2018, and the work is to focus on prevention, not crisis. It involves the courts, the DA's office, juvenile, public health, mental health, and many community partners, all of the schools and all of the law enforcement jurisdictions in our county. Medford School District has been active and open to this work since its founding. Our work is clearly to protect students in schools. These are clearly challenging times, and keeping focus on what's important in our community should be paramount to the work. As is always the case, loud voices are often angry ones. This is the first meeting I've been to for the Medford School Board since Dr. Champion arrived. The distractions are numerous, and I want to be supportive of Dr. Champion and your efforts to stay focused on the kids and the schools. Thank you for being public servants. It's important work.
Thank you. All right.
Now, this is an ongoing meeting, and we'll be checking in several times to hear about public comments and get a few updates for you. We'll also have a full recap of that board meeting on our late evening broadcast on NewsWatch 12 at 11. Looking at a community impact, some good changes are soon to come to Ashland Parks. This is because of state grant funding for a few city undertakings. NewsWatch 12's Rocky Walker has been in Ashland learning more about the projects and the funding that they'll need.
State grant funding given to Ashland will be bringing some changes to the city's parks and recreation, with half of that funding going to a rehabilitation of the tennis courts here at Hunter Park, and the other half going to turning this field into a brand new park altogether. Tennis players can be happy to know that the tennis courts at Hunter Park will soon be getting repaired. Courts full of cracks, holes, and chipped wood will soon be resurfaced and rehabilitated with $700,000 in help from the state parks grant. With the funds not just keeping the park going, but reimagining it into a safer level.
We've done other rehabilitation projects to kind of continue to move it along, and they just weren't meeting that level. So it's been on our deferred maintenance list for a few years.
$1 million of the funding will also go towards phase 1 of turning an empty lot off Main Street into East Main Park. With the park set to have a dog park, a bicycle pump track, and eventually a playground and community garden, filling the need the south side of Ashland has had for recreation.
It's really to hit a couple key things that the community's been asking for, which is another dog park, this being on the southern end of town. We kind of have this fills a gap in our walkability as well as that close to home recreational opportunities.
I was told the grant requires a 40% match by the city, but Ashland is doing much more than that. With city funds turning the tennis court restoration from a $720,000 project to an estimated $1.3 million rehabilitation, and turning first phase of the East Main Park from being a $1 million undertaking to a $2 million investment. But with such high spending, many are left to wonder, will this money need to come out of my pocket? And the answer? It won't, because in a way, it already has.
There is no levy required. We already have that food and beverage tax and the system development charges there to kind of help do this. And the sort of thing is, it's you have money in the bank and then you plan to spend it to meet that need.
And the Ashland Parks and Recreation Department says if timelines work correctly, both projects will be finished by this time next year. Now let's turn over to Storm Watch 12. Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman for a look at our conditions this evening. Perfect night to go out to the park or any outdoor rec.
Absolutely beautiful evening shaping up. Lots of sunshine for most of us, even much of the coastline seeing blue skies. But look at Brookings, that marine layer has snuck back in. Temperatures have dropped back into the 50s, 59 right now. It's 83 degrees in Medford, a nice north-northwest breeze, 78 in Wairika and 76 currently in Klamath Falls. That area of low pressure that brought us the shower activity and cooler weather earlier this week, that has moved well to the south, and we are going to be high and dry here in southern Oregon and northern California for the days ahead. High pressure will continue to build into the region, so not going to get any more relief for the drought. Still much of southern Oregon under some moderate drought, but we look to stay dry at least through the weekend and the first part of next week. Tonight, down to 51 in Medford, 40 in Klamath Falls. Expecting still some decent sunshine for tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm and seasonal afternoon temperatures. A closer look at your Friday and your weekend forecast coming up. Haley.
Thank you, Matt. And new at 6 tonight, a Seneca man was sentenced to federal prison today after trying to meet up with a 15-year-old child who was actually an undercover police officer. A news release shared that Reuben Harvey was sentenced to 10 years after pleading guilty to one charge of attempted coercion and enticement of a child. Southern Oregon Child Exploitation Team was posing as a 15-year-old girl as a part of a larger investigation. You can head to our website for all the details at kdrv.com. And we're also continuing coverage tonight on the issue of public camping in Grants Pass. City Council adopting a resolution to designate 2 sites for public camping and set up a budget to fund them. Councilors passed a motion 7-1 to put forward $325,000 supplemental budget to operate the sites. At last night's meeting, some residents expressed frustration that more money was going towards these sites.
I too am opposed of this extraordinary amount of money that is going out for things that people should be able to do for themselves. This is a total perfect example of enabling. Enabling does not work.
And right now, volunteer group Mint is providing water at the J Street site. The city had temporary restrooms, trash disposal, and hand washing facilities set up at its previous sites. City Council documents say Grants Pass is looking to strike a balance between human needs and the intended purpose of the public sites. The council's next meeting is Wednesday, October 4th. And the Oregon Government Ethics Commission has dismissed a set of complaints made against members of the Board of Josephine County Commissioners. The complaints were made by the county's former HR director. The complaint involved possible violations to policies and procedures during a meeting that took place at the end of April. A motion was made to dismiss the complaints and end the preliminary investigation. Each motion passed 5-3, and all 3 matters were dismissed. Looking at a traffic alert, downtown Medford has 3 speed limit changes taking effect today. NewsWatch 12's Luke Doan is at one of the areas that you should be careful in.
Haley, there's some speed zone changes happening in downtown Medford. Here in Riverside, next to the Rowe Community College campus, it's going to be 20 miles per hour. And there's also a red light and speed camera that will catch you at this intersection if you're going too fast. But let's go ahead and look at a map and break down these new speed changes. Central Avenue is slowing down to 30 miles per hour in between 10th Street and Barnett Street. Riverside has 2 changes. The first one is between Barnett and 12th, where the limit is dropping from 35 to 30 miles per hour. Now in between Jackson and 12th Street, where we're at right now, it is going down to 20 miles per hour. Here at 8th and Riverside, that red light and speed camera, it will catch you if you're going 11 miles per hour over the speed limit. Medford police really want to make sure you're aware of these speed changes and the camera so you know what's going on in the area. They also want you to know if you get a letter saying that you were speeding in the next month, that's just a warning. You're not going to get an actual ticket until October 19th.
Speed is being reduced in this particular area or these particular areas. Be aware of it, and it will be affected by the speed cameras as well.
Medford police want you to know that they can still give people tickets even though they're in this warning period. So just make sure you're paying attention to that and driving extra carefully when you're going through this downtown area. In Medford, Luke Doughton, NewsWatch 12.
Thank you, Luke. And onto our school watch, a Lakeview teacher has been named Regional Teacher of the Year. Deborah Watts teaches 3rd grade at Arthur D. Hay Elementary School in Lakeview. She was surprised with the announcement after school today. Director of the Oregon Department of Education, Dr. Charlene Williams, says, quote, "Now more than ever, we need powerful educators like these," end quote. And Rogue Community College has announced new parking spaces for the Riverside campus, located at the Bear Creek South and Almond Street parking lot. These spaces address ongoing concerns of parking availability. RCC partnered with the City of Medford to secure these additional spaces that are free for students and employees. And the Grants Pass School District's Adult Community Transition, or ACT program, has relocated. The program helps young adults with disabilities grow through real-world learning, job training, and community involvement. The new building is on the GP Flex campus and is designed to support these individuals as they build skills for their independence. Today, Rogue X proudly introduced a new artwork to greet its guests. Medford has unveiled a striking 15-foot public sculpture at the entrance of the community. Here's the unveiling now. Designed by local muralist Melissa, this piece involved collaboration with high school students who shared their experiences of growing up here in the Rogue Valley. Together, they aim to encapsulate the area's vibrant nature, joy, and colors. Weighing in at 680 pounds, the sculpture is crafted from welded aluminum.
Where the youth had a chance to voice what they would like to see in the community, and this was a design that the kids liked, and then we had an artist to come and kind of work with our youth to identify the things that were special to them.
The painting on the sculpture shows some of the activities that take place at Rogue X and across the Rogue Valley, with painting of deer, fish, and swimming, from basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. The installation cost $94,000, with funding coming mainly from the Medford City Council's Community Initiative Fund. And Mercy Flight's celebrating 75 years of serving the community. Today they hosted an anniversary event to share their history and reflect on their service to the Southern Oregon community. Mercy Flight's board member and granddaughter of the founder, Pirko Tiro, expressed appreciation for the support that the community has given them.
I also want to say thank you to the people of Southern Oregon, of this region, for continuing to support Mercy Flights. It's a two-way street. It requires the support of the community for Mercy Flights to in turn support the community. And I'm so grateful that we're able to continue doing so.
Mercy Flights engages with local high schools and community groups looking to recruit its next batch of EMS workers. And looking ahead to next week, the 173rd Fighter Wing will be conducting night flying operations starting on Monday at Kingsley Field. Operations will take place between 5 and 11 p.m. from Monday until Wednesday. Close community members are likely to hear jets during takeoff and landings. Night flying is a key part of the course curriculum at Kingsley Field. It continues to be the premier F-15C schoolhouse for the U.S. Air Force. Much of the training will take place east of Lakeview. And on October 5th, Medford Fire and Police will be going toe-to-toe on the soccer field. The match is a fundraiser for the White Heart Foundation, a nonprofit that serves veterans and first responders suffering from PTSD. The free event will be held at Lithia Driveway Fields and will have local vendors. And only on 12. NewsWatch 12's 34th annual Coats for Kids drive is getting ready to launch, officially starting in 1 week from today. Work is already underway for this year's campaign. NewsWatch 12's Jerry Howard is helping facilitate this year's coat drive, and he's live in studio tonight. Jerry, how will we launch this year's Coats for Kids campaign?
Well, Haley, our annual Coats for Kids campaign starts with gratitude. NewsWatch 12 thanks its viewers who become donors and its partners who help make the coat drive work. Your generosity has helped provide coats such as these as part of, get this, more than 150,000 coats since 1990 for children needing them. NewsWatch 12's 34th annual Coats for Kids campaign starts 1 week from today. That's when we'll have approximately 70 red donation barrels to accept new and gently used children's coats in Jackson, Josephine, and Klamath counties. John Zupon has been a Coats for Kids partner for about 30 years, who knows the impact your donations make.
It's amazing. I mean, it's just, we take them, we don't always get to see the kids get them. We drop them off to schools, but usually Roosevelt, just a block over, we get to go in and the kids come out and it just the looks on their face. It's just amazing.
And part of our preparation for this year's Coats for Kids campaign is getting it ready online. You can click on campaign information and ways to donate online and by check. Now again, we're still a week away from launch, and you can get a preview of red donation barrel locations at kdrv.com. Last year, you gave more than $20,000 in contributions, more than 5,000 coats during the campaign, and we thank you in advance for this year's Coats for Kids drive, which starts September 26th and runs through October 27th. Live in studio, Jerry Howard, NewsWatch 12.